Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live webinar. Different setting this week, different setting. So hopefully you're all good and well, and thanks for joining us. Uh, please do let me know if you're watching on social media or on YouTube. Please let me know where you're from. Say hi in the chat. I can see Howard's already here and David's here and I'm here. So do let me know where you're joining from in the chat. It'd be great to see who's the furthest away. Who's the furthest away from me in Plymouth Kingdom today? That'd be really interesting. So Long Beach, California. That's quite a stretch, Howard. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to make today's session really practical. I'm going to give you a little tool that's going to help you no end with ChatGPT and help you. So do stick around for this. Let me know where you're joining from in the chat. We're going to have loads of fun talking about how to use ChatGPT. I'm sure you've seen a ton of hype about it. I'm going to focus on the practical stuff you can do that will make it work for you. Hi, Lisa. I'm good. It's absolutely roasting in Devon tonight, so it's really warm in the room here doing this tonight. I'm sure it's even warmer in London because of their buildings and all that stuff. So, hi Jody from Bristol. Hi Syed from Toronto. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. Just let all the notifications kick in everywhere on social media, and then we're going to dig in. I'm going to share my screen. I've got a tool for you to show you that's really going to help. So let me just check everything's ready. I will hear everybody and do all of that good stuff. So if there's any questions or anything you're uncertain of, please do ask questions in the chat and we'll get started. Just checking our tech here. We all good on the tech? Let's just check our tech and make sure we're all functioning, all firing on all cylinders and everything. Can everybody hear me okay? Do you want to just say in the chat and say hello in the chat if you can hear me okay? That'd be great. And it seems like we're working okay. Perfect. So let's get started. So for those of you joining, maybe you're a little bit aware of ChatGPT. Let me just get rid of some of the hype around ChatGPT first. Hi, Janine. Hi, Syed. Perfect. And hi, Jim. So I think we're working okay now. We're all good. Tech is all good fun. So ChatGPT, let's first things first. ChatGPT, in its current form as it is today, is not going to basically take your job and do all the content for you, but it will eliminate a ton of work for you. You'll still have to edit, but the majority of the work you will have ChatGPT doing. Hi, Jerry. So ChatGPT has been, there's so much potential for it, so much it can do, but what it can't do right now is emulate you. Not yet, but I'm going to show you some tips on how you can get it as close as possible. And this might seem common sense stuff, but for some people, this will be world changing. And I'm going to give you a free tool. And I'll just share my screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to put my compelling content generator tool up on screen. Now I'm going to show you how this works a little bit later. But this is a content generation tool and it actually automatically creates the ChatGPT prompts for you. Now you can have this, a copy of this for free, no catches, no like signups or anything. And somewhere on the screen here, there's like a little ticker thing along the screen. My email address is on there, hi@maverick.io. If you want a copy of the content generator tool, just send me an email and say, hi, Dean, can I have the content planner for ChatGPT? And I'll send it you completely free to help you get started. So just drop me an email and I'll send it to you. It'll be afterwards because obviously I'm doing this now, but we'll send you a copy of the tool you can use. So I'm also going to show you a little bit later, after we've done some practical stuff you can do, I'm going to show you our masterclass that you can get instant access to on our ChatGPT for LinkedIn and LinkedIn content and all of that stuff, and how you can do one piece of content and then get ChatGPT to go and make all different versions for you. So if you want a copy of the generation tool, number one, drop me an email and I will send it to you. So send me an email, hi@maverick.io, and say, Dean, please send me the content planner for ChatGPT, and I'll send it to you. Brill. So what I want to cover tonight is, first of all, if you've never met me, I'm Dean, I'm the founder of Maverick, and our business helps people win clients and build their business on LinkedIn. And we do these webinars to help you, to educate, bit of brand awareness, bit of promotion for us, but to add value into your world. The only catch is we tell you a little bit about what we do. And if you get value from it, we want you to kind of, show some support, share, post, and all that kind of stuff. That's all there is to it. So there's no QVC thing coming up here and it's like, once it's gone, it's gone. But we will tell you about what we do, and I'll tell you about the ChatGPT course a little later. Okay, so let's get started. So, hi Diane, welcome. Hi Ben. Hi, Ben and Jody know each other in the chat on YouTube. So, first thing first, I want to just talk about quickly the 3 types of content that you want to be doing. And I'll just share my screen and put this up as big as I can get it. So there is 3 types of content you need to be thinking about on, whether it's LinkedIn, anywhere on the platforms, you need to be thinking about these 3 types of content. I'll show you with my ChatGPT generator how to actually create this content. But I want to just define what they are. So 3 types of content. Attract content is basically the stuff that gets the attention of your target audience. So this is generally quite light. It's quite informal. It's quite personal. It's stories. It's anything to engage. It's motivational. This is the stuff. It's funny. It's humor. This is the stuff that gets you attention. Now, this type of content, its primary purpose is to get visibility so that people see your nurture content, which delivers the value and helps people see the value of working with you, spending time with you, sticking around with you, and it elevates your authority in their worlds, builds trust and credibility. Now, the third piece of content is your convert content, and that is to drive people to take action. That's the content that forces people to go, I've got to do something. I need to click. I need to download something. I need to buy something. I need to sign up. I need to book a discovery call. So the 3 types of content work together. The attract gets you the attention. The nurture proves your value and gives people helpful things to stick around. And the convert is the bit that makes you money. But the convert will not work if you don't do the others. So I see this a lot on LinkedIn. People will put out content on LinkedIn and they're putting out promotion, which is boring. Nobody's interested in it. Nobody wants to spend any time with it. And so guess what? It gets 0 views, 0 interest, 0 results. So that's the convert side, imbalance of conversion. The other extreme of this is everybody obsesses about attract, and they're posting funny videos, selfies, stories about what's going on in their world, and they over obsess on that content. And what happens is then they struggle to make it their content commercially viable. So they're putting out a lot of stuff, but they're not making a lot of money. And so the balance of all 3 becomes really important. Yeah. So these 3 together make things work. So what's the balance in terms of how much of each? So on LinkedIn, I recommend you doing if you're doing 5 posts a week, 2 of them being attract, 2 of them being nurture, and 1 being convert. And I recommend you put the convert one in the middle of the week and wrap the other two types of posts around it. Convert in the middle of the week. So now we understand the different types of content and their purpose. What we want to do is use ChatGPT to help us create the content. Now, one of the common complaints about ChatGPT, and I'll just switch to it. One of the common complaints about ChatGPT is the content is generic and the content isn't that interesting, or it's very broad, or I'm a grumpy northerner, right? So I'm from the north of England where we're generally grumpy, right? I don't know if anybody else is here who's a grumpy northerner. So I always find that the posts, when you put content out from ChatGPT, it feels very optimistic teenager. I can't describe it in any other way, but it feels very optimistic teenager. And what I'm going to show you is some tips about ChatGPT. Before we get into creating the content, I want to show you some tips about how to make ChatGPT feel more like you. And we do cover this in more detail in our ChatGPT course. We've had about 400 or 500 people go through it. And it does help you kind of program ChatGPT to talk like you. So I'm flicking to ChatGPT, and you'll all be familiar with this layout. I use ChatGPT 4 because it's smarter, right? It's just smarter. And it's worth the investment because it'll save you a ton of time. $20 a month, save you a ton of time. Now, every time you create a new chat, each chat is self-contained. What do I mean? I mean that the AI will learn from that chat, and what happens in that chat, it will adapt and improve from. So say for an example, I write, tell me a poem, tell me or give me 15 quotes. I'll just do this as an example, right? Give me 15 quotes about business, right? So it's now writing me 15 quotes, right? So I'll just let it do this, and I'm just going to show you how you can use the chats to improve what you're doing and learn from what you're doing. And what you should be doing with your content is basically using one chat. If you're talking about one topic, use one chat and just keep using the same chat. So it develops and morphs and learns from every interaction. Now, it will forget a few things over time, but you'll get a much better result this way. Rich Media from Stockport. We aren't that bad. I'm from a mining town, Rich, near St. Helens, so I'm more miserable, right? So what I'm going to do, you can see how I've got these quotes, right? I like 1, 5, 7, 9, and 13. I don't like 2, 3, 4, 8, and 10. Right? Now, this might seem silly because I'm chatting to the AI, right? So, but what I'm doing is I'm confirming I like this, I don't like this, right? And now it's suggesting alternatives. So the more I give the feedback to ChatGPT, the more it will sound like me. So for an example, let's say I get ChatGPT to write me a post and I don't like it so much and I have to edit it quite a bit, which is what you have to do at the beginning. I then edit it and go, based on your suggestion, I edited the post to look like this, and give it back the post so that it knows, this is what I made, this is what he used, I'll learn from that. So hopefully, does that make sense for everybody? Please let me know in the chat if that makes sense. So it might seem like a little bit of work, but actually telling ChatGPT what it did well and what it didn't do so well can actually improve future interactions inside that same chat. So inside that same chat, you can improve the quality of what you do, right? So that's the key, what you did. And I did this with an example the other day. And basically, I'll show you the example, right? And I'll just share with you about, this was about music. I was doing it as an example. So I put, I like the following songs. Can you suggest more I might like? And then it gives me a suggestion of songs that I might like. And then I put, I also like Peter Noon. And then based on your added preferences, it gave me more. And then I put, I like ABBA too. And then it gave me more. And, oh, and I like Katy Perry, and it gave me more. I like Dua Lipa Love Again, and it gave me more. I love Miley Cyrus Flowers. And I know you're thinking, what the hell is Dean's music taste, right? I like Snow Patrol Run. And basically it's learning from every conversation. Can you review all the songs I've told you and suggest some that I might like? And it's now suggested a playlist for me. Yeah? Does that make sense? So the chat itself that you set up, everything that you put into it, it can learn from. But if you keep making new chats for the same thing, you're basically having a goldfish every time. Eddie, yes, it can, but it's better in the free version. It forgets more quickly in the free version. The paid version actually remembers more. It will forget things like we do, but it will retain more of your preferences if you use the paid version and keep it in the chat. So number one tip, educate the chat. Not just on what you want from it, feed back to it so it learns from you. Really important. Nicola, what I mean by goldfish is that if you start, so let's say I've done this playlist here, right? And I've made this playlist. I then forget this chat and make a new chat. It's like brand spanking new, goldfish memory. So all of the learning from this chat does not move to the next chat that I create. So I have to keep coming back to the same chat if it's about the same thing. So same chat, same thing. Make sense? Yeah? So keep the same chat for the same thing, and it will learn from each interaction. And as you feed back to it, it will retain some of that information, some of that learning it will retain. So really important that you think about that from that point of view. Rajiv, you can't search, but they are down here on the left-hand side. So you can just look through. Now, I've got loads of chats because I do loads of stuff with ChatGPT with clients, on our accelerator, on courses. So I've got a million different chats here. But generally, you probably won't have that many. You might have 3 or 4. It won't be a lot. Okay, so now when we're thinking about how do we create content, right? We've talked about the different types of content, attract, nurture, and convert. And just to say, I'm going to show you the compelling content generator, but remember you'll need to set up a chat for this. And I'm going to go through the exercise with the compelling content generator and teach ChatGPT in real time to make my post and show you exactly what I've got to do. So I'm going to flip to the compelling content spreadsheet, right? Now, again, like I said, if you want a copy of this, email me. Email should be on the ticker at the bottom. You'll still have to educate, but obviously the more you do this, the easier it gets. So what this does is it generates the prompt, and the prompt is programmed in. I've written the prompt to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an audience in. Solopreneur, coaches, consultants, freelance marketing, consultants, etc. What else? Business coaches. So I put in solopreneurs selling their expertise, and I've given an example of the target audience. Nicholas said, can you have one user account on several devices? Yeah, you can just keep logging in from different. Yes, you have to treat it. So you can just keep logging into ChatGPT from one device. Once you get the planner, it's yours to work with. But on ChatGPT, you can log in on different ones. So the first thing we do on the content planner is put our audience in. Then something that I talk about, Ruth, if you want to copy, just send me an email, hi@maverick.io. Send me an email because the chat just disappears afterwards. Yep. So really important. The chat disappears afterwards. So that's why I'm saying send me an email, and my email address is on screen. So in here, we've got the audience. I've written an audience, right? So I could put CEOs in the SaaS, just because I've seen Ruth is in SaaS. Yeah, so I've put an audience, CEOs in SaaS businesses. Then I want to put in what's their primary buying motivation. They want to win more clients. Now put the topic in, LinkedIn. And then I drill down. Lead generation from content. So I put who it's for, why they want it, what they want to achieve, that big goal, the topic and the subtopic. And then this, from our ChatGPT course, is variations on different post ideas. So I can put in here controversial opinions. Maybe I won't do that one this time. Different ways to. So I put different ways to. And then what I'm going to do is do a nurture post. And so I've picked that, and this ChatGPT prompt is now updated itself. I go to ChatGPT, new chat, because I'm doing a LinkedIn post, and I paste the prompt it's generated. Everybody seeing this? Right, it's now creating the content ideas for me. No hands, no hands. Yeah. And it's creating the content ideas for me. So I'll let it do this work. And then once I've got this done, I will then review. Yeah, I will review these and pick which one I want to write a post about. So it's going to give me a few ideas. And you can see they're coming in. Yep. So one little field in my generator has created 10 post ideas. Yes, send it to hi@maverick.io. Email, you send me an email. Don't put your email in the chat. Don't do that. Send me an email. So go to your email browser, Outlook or Gmail, send an email address, hi@maverick.io, and say, can I have the content planner? Now, before I go to the next bit, so I've just generated some ideas, right? And they're not bad, actually. I'll just show you the difference when I change this, right? I'll just put in counterintuitive ideas. Yep, so I've just changed the super focus, and I take the prompt again. And it will now give me 10 unique other ideas. So same topic, same buying motivation, same everything, but it's now switching it into a different angle, a different slant, and giving me different ones. Yep. So you can see it's give me a load of different ideas, different ideas. Now, this is just the ideas section. So any ideas that you think are good, you can export this, save it in a spreadsheet, and bring it back later. So if you think all these ideas are good, awesome. If you think one's good, great. whatever you want to do, but you want to save your ideas so you can come back to them. So you can literally just highlight it, or you can, copy it and paste it into Excel. I really like number 6, right? I like number 6. So what I'm going to do is now, because the idea generator's done it, the content generator, write me a LinkedIn post about number 6. And then I always say, keep it under 180 words. Now, sometimes it breaks the rules on that. Right, so it's just made me a LinkedIn post, right? So let's say, for an example, this post here, yeah, it's made me that post, right? So it's made me a post template. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open Notepad. I'm sorry, this is a bit technical. I'm showing you in real time how this works, so you can have a copy of this yourself and you can use this yourself. And again, if you want a copy of the replay, please do drop me a line, right? And I'll send you the replay as well. And of course, we've got a full course on this, so you can practice this and develop it yourself. So I'm going to change it as free lead gen campaigns. Yeah. So I'm just changing the post. And so sorry, I'm just doing this as I'm doing it. I just want to edit the post like I would. So there's the post, right? I edited the post. This is what I used. And now I'm going to give it back the edited post. Right? So now, 1, I've made a post and I've done this in minutes, but 2, I've taught ChatGPT that based off what it creates, yeah, this is what I used. And so the next time I make a post, so I go, write me a LinkedIn post about number 8, keep it under 180 words, it will now factor some of that in. And after I've done it a couple of times, I'll actually start to learn, oh, and look, now it's copying and giving me less emojis, bit more structure, and tying it together. So suddenly it's gone from bouncy, hyper teenager with all these emojis. They've gone. And now it's presenting something like that. So it's a little different. Yeah. So it's just a little tweak. And then I could go again and go again and go again. And it will learn how I write, what I like, what I don't like really quickly. Right? How cool is that? Does anybody else want to ask any questions about how this generator works? Before I do another version, right, what I'm going to do is do something silly. So I'm going to do funny stories. There's something like funny stories somewhere. Sad stories, right? Sad stories attract content. We know how that works on LinkedIn, right? So it will now generate 10 lead generation tips with sad stories. Everybody see this okay? I know it's probably tiny on your screen. And look at what it's talking about. One negative review that changed our business forever. Here's what happened. Yeah, so it's giving us clues on what we want to write and what we want to say. And then what I'm going to do is go, write me one on number 5 in a second. And it'll have picked up all the other stuff we've learned. Right? So I go, write me a post about number 7. Yeah. So notice I didn't have to put the character count in and it guessed how long I wanted it because it's learned. Yeah. It's learned. Yeah. How clever is this? So one little spreadsheet, everybody's going, oh, you need this, you need that, you need the other. If you really understand who your audience is, why they need you, yeah, and what your topics are, and then you flip this around, yeah, it will basically generate everything for you. Now, you have to program it, you have to teach it, right? But it will just keep going and it will learn off everything. Right, I'm just going to show you one more thing, but this is a teaser for our course. You can get it for 95 quid. It's pretty cheap, right? So here we go. Look, tools I use, and it's writing tools and how to keep it. Yeah, so it's literally writing what tools are good, and then you just create the post, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it generating. And do you remember this post we wrote up here that I was happy with? Yeah, you remember this one? Yeah. No, it's not that one. It's this one above, right? So edit. Great. So this post here that I wrote that I said I liked, right? What I'm going to do is edit and come back up. So I'm basically talking about this post and go, can you turn this post into a 750 word blog writing in a conversational style? Now, it's never done a blog for me in this chat before, so this will be a bit hit and miss, but it's actually using my LinkedIn post as the guide. So it's basically taking the basic bones of my 180 word LinkedIn post and turning it into a blog. So I've just turned that post that it wrote for me, edited it, sent it back to it and said, this is what I used. Now give me a blog off it. And it's expanded that post based on my LinkedIn post into a 750 word blog for my website or what have you. Yeah, dead simple. Everybody's still alive? You're all very quiet tonight, so I don't know whether... Jody said, this is gold. I'm glad you think so, Jody. Please go and tell LinkedIn, people on LinkedIn, we know what we're doing, right? This is so simple, so easy, so straightforward. Use ChatGPT like an assistant. Yeah, the content planner will work with anything. It's a Google Doc. It's a Google Sheet, so you can use it on anything. It'll work with GPT 3.5. It'll work with 4. It works wherever you want. Now, let me give you a little promo before I show you another little tip, and then I'll take some questions. So we have this ChatGPT course, right? So I just want to tell you a little about it. It's only 95 quid. So the first thing is we've got 2 masterclasses in there. I'm doing a really quick run through today. So the first bit is you get this in full detail. So you get those 2 sessions. Then we give you a full tutorial about how to create your PDF carousels for LinkedIn and Instagram, link it to Canva, and ChatGPT and the AI will link together and make you your PDF carousels. Then we've got a list of prompt templates, and then we have the full training on how to customize and use the planner. So the whole thing is there. There's about 3 hours worth of content, 5 lessons, 3 hours, tutorial, PDF guides, the works. And if you want a copy, it's 95 quid. I'll put the link in the chat if you want it. There's no pressure from us, but I'm going to take questions in a second. So I'll put the links in the chat here. So if you want it, go grab it. If it's not your thing, that's cool. But either way, I'll send you a copy of the planner, this thing, so you can have a go. But if you want the full in-depth, how to make carousels and get Canva to auto-generate them for you. So literally you can go, right, ChatGPT, make me an Instagram carousel or a LinkedIn carousel. It will give you the template, you perfect it. Canva hooks up with it and goes, pew, done. Pew, pew is a technical term. Okay, so do we have any questions about how this works? Anybody want to ask any questions about how they can plug these two things together? I think just from my point of view, the big takeaways for you today is going to be using one chat for one thing and literally talking back and forth with it. I think having a structure for how you create your content becomes important, the 3 types of content. And then the other part is obviously expanding your content. So using the compelling content, the content planner to put the ideas into a structure, get the ChatGPT to draft the ideas. Then you work with ChatGPT to get your final draft. Let ChatGPT know your final draft so it learns. Then once it's learned, get it to expand it and create more. And there's a whole host of other things you can do with ChatGPT, like taking transcripts, putting your transcripts in there and getting it to convert it into blogs and posts and all that kind of stuff. So this is a really cool way of using ChatGPT. And you're all really quiet. So I feel like, there's 3 really rock solid things you can put there. Yeah. So Saeed, yeah. So I'll just do you an example here, right? I'll just go preschool teachers. Here we go. Teachers want to get a pay rise. Yeah. Master topic. Importance of quality education, right? And the subtopic, valuing the best teachers, right? So I put that in onto this line, and then I'll go controversial opinions, and I'll do a convert post. I have no idea what it's going to generate with this because this is not my forte. I've just made this up in real time. So new chat, because it's a different topic. Yeah, Jim, it automatically will generate the bold headings because you're asking it to write a blog. Saeed, yes, it will work with the unpaid. The only challenge with the unpaid version, maybe I'll stop generating and do it in the unpaid version, is its memory, its retention of learning isn't as good. So I'll just paste it into the free one, 3.5. It's not as smart as the GPT-4, but you can see it's doing the job. So I'll just show you the difference. So higher pay, higher quality. It's time to break the cycle. The vicious cycle of education you won't believe, how we can break it today. And just look, they're just totally different. So the structure is just totally different. So yes, you can use it, you can spin it. You could even go preschool. Let's see what it does with this. Preschool teachers, and we're going to go by want more live animals in the classroom, right? Master topic, children learn better if there are giraffes. I'm just doing this really silly because it's a long day for me in the classroom, right? I'm just doing this totally. Animals stimulate learning. So I've just put the master topic, right? Controversial opinion, and we're going to do an attract post, right? I have no idea what ChatGPT is going to do with this, but it'll have a good go, right? So it's preschool teachers. They want more live animals in the classroom. Animals stimulate learning, and children learn better if there's live giraffes in the classroom. You can tell it's been a long day, right? But let's see what ChatGPT does, right? This is so good, right? I know it's a bit silly, right? But it just shows you the point. And what I'm going to do in a second is I'm going to get it to stop generating, and I'm going to actually get it to write a LinkedIn post about why giraffes should be in the classroom. Right? I love doing silly stuff like this on ChatGPT. It's so much fun. You can get it to basically justify absolutely anything. And that's the fun of it, but it's also the danger of it, because obviously it can be misused. I mean, I'm just doing it for fun here, right? And there are some controls in it, so you can't get it to like justify, you know, crime and stuff. But write me a post, a LinkedIn post about number 9. It is now justifying why you should have. Laura, Adobe has its own design AI, so that there's a lot of Gabe, giraffe content, so you can see it's put something together quite quickly, quite easily, to justify why giraffes should be in the classroom in preschool classrooms. So that's the danger of it. But the opportunity of it for you is actually it can learn from you. And if you use it right, it can actually deliver really good results. Security risks, not so much, to be honest with you. You're not using it for personal data. The OpenAI is backed by Microsoft. So the biggest risk is your login. You're not going to put massive personal information into it. So I don't think there's a risk. I think the security risk in the long term is that if we rely on AI for other things, more sensitive things, like maybe we've got an AI assistant, we say, AI, pay this, or AI, pay that, that could be a risk. But what I'm talking about with ChatGPT, the biggest risk to you is sometimes ChatGPT will generate statistics. Sometimes it makes those statistics up. So you need to basically refine it and edit it before you do anything and test it, because it will make stats up. Any other questions? Any other questions before I wrap up? So there's a couple of things I just want to say. Number one, if you want the compelling content sheet, you can, and there's a whole load of inspirational headlines in there as well you can use. If you want this Google Sheet, please drop me an email. The email address is on screen. So my email is on screen. Send me an email asking for the ChatGPT content planner, and I'll send it to you. It might be later today or tomorrow because it's late here in the UK. That's number one. Number two, if you want to get access to our ChatGPT course, which has more of this in depth, it's 95 quid, so it's not going to break the bank. I'll put the link in the chat. You get instant access. All the videos are there. The ChatGPT generator's there. There's also a content idea bank in there that you can use, as well as all the training on how to turn everything into everything. Take YouTube videos and turn it into blogs, turn blogs into YouTube videos, the works. Brill. Any more questions before I sign off? Saeed, Brill. So if you want the ChatGPT, go buy it. Ruth, how much is it in dollars? It's £1 to roughly, I'd guess, I'm just guessing here, it's about $110, $115. Yes, Nicola, you can put code in and say, what's wrong with the code? Why doesn't it work? ChatGPT will do all of that. So anything that's known on the internet, basically ChatGPT can probably figure out. So if I've proved the case to you, get the planner. If you're really up for leveraging it, get the little course. No brainer. Any more questions before I sign off? Yeah, Said, $127. I'm not 100% on the conversion at the moment, but it's roughly about, I think it's $1.25, $1.25 to £1. You're welcome, Jim. Awesome. I'm going to sign off. Looking forward to seeing if you want to join in. Amrita, sort of. Actually, Bard is better for real-time data. Bard's way better for real-time data. All good. Just to say, by the way, if you've got value from this, I really appreciate this. Come find me on LinkedIn and on Instagram. Put out a post if you've had a great session, a great time tonight, you've learned something. Please tell other people. This is our marketing exercise. Yes, want to sell some courses, but it's our marketing exercise too. So thank you for joining us. Back next week with another training session. So go check that out. We've got some other training sessions coming up. I'll do something new every week. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you next week or on the course.